Shalom, 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 Israel, and thank you for coming to another segment of Out of Time. Listen, Out of Time is the only video series that takes social happenings and reported events, and we line them up with biblical prophecies to tell us just how much time we do not have when it comes down to the countdown of martial law. Now, with that being said, this episode is going to be a little bit different. We're going to take social happenings and we're going to line them up with a biblical application. So social situations or personal situations, and we're going to put a biblical application to it. Now, as we all know, this is the 400th year of our captivity. The Most High said 400 and not a day longer. He didn't say one. He didn't say 100. He didn't say 200. He didn't say 300. He didn't say 399. He didn't say 401. He said 400 years, and we're coming out of Second Egypt, Babylon, Sodom, as we know it, America. All right, so be of good cheer. Chin up. The chariots are coming. Now, just like you, I'm going through a lot of situations during this home stretch. This is no time for us to give up and give in. Quitting is not an option for us. But I do know this has been a marathon. And so 2 is better than 1. So if I can interject some octane through the word, if I can give you a B12 shot from the Bible, which is our family album because it was written by Hebrews for Hebrews, I'm going to do just that. So I asked the Most High, listen, I'm dealing with personal situation, financial strain, relational disconnects. Give me a strategy. What is your blueprint, Yahweh? Most High, I need for you to intervene. And you know, he did just that. I have never read the book of Tobit before. So most of you haven't even heard of it because our enemies took it out of our family album. Okay, so I introduced to some and reintroduced to others. Tobit, coming from the 6th chapter, verse 1 through 7. Come on, let's join in and let's read a spiritual strategy to what you might be going through. All right. Here again, I'm coming from the Sefer Bible. And it reads, chapter 6, verse 1 through 7, Tobit, the book of Tobit. And they went on their journey. Anytime that you read the Most High's word, no matter what book, no matter what chapter, no matter what verse, you got to understand that there's a conversation going on. So you want to understand who's doing the talking. That's your first question. Who's talking? And once you find out who's talking, elementary after that, what are they talking about? So to give context, this is Tobit talking to a perfectly good stranger who was hired to go with him to pick up some money for his father, which incidentally, his father's name was Tobit too. Okay, so you have Tobit 1, Tobit Jr. So this is Tobit Jr. talking to a stranger that was hired to take him safely to the journey that he was going to go on to pick up some money for his father. Now, here's the plot twist. Tobit Jr. thinks that the man that's taking him on this journey to keep him safe is a man. You know, as we always think someone is a man. But there's a scripture that says, be careful how you entertain strangers, because you might be entertaining angels unaware. Now, we have inside information because we're reading about, you know, Tobit, you know. We have a up close aerial view about what's going on. But he didn't. He was living it. So Tobit Jr. thought that this was a man who was hired to take him on this journey, to keep him safe and to you know, give him some wisdom on what to do and what not to do. We all need mentors. I mean, that's a wise person once said, we learn by 2 different ways, mistakes and mentors. And the first mistake is not to have a mentor. See how that works? So we always need someone because two is way better than one. So the conversation is, they two are walking and going on this journey. So that's where we pick up the story. It says, and they went on their journey, and they came in the evening to a river of Chiddequil. Okay, maybe I'm pronouncing it right. So Shalake. Okay, that means excuse me. I'm sorry. I'll do better. Okay, Chiddequil, and they lodged there. So they pitched a tent by this river. No biggie. That's what we do now. I mean, anybody who is a serious camper or knows anything about hiking, you know, you always want to pitch a tent by some running water in case you need some, to drink, or, in case you want to do anything else, cook, bathe, you name it. I mean, as they did back then, and we do now, And it says, and when the young man went down to wash himself, of course, they've been walking, sun, traveling, friction, up climbs, down, descending, ascending, a lot of physical aerobic activity. You don't want to go to bed funk. You want to wash up a little bit, if not just to relax, to unwind. So that's what he did. And the young man went down to the river to wash himself, and a fish leaped out of that river. A fish leaped up out of that river. A fish leaped up out of that river and would have devoured him. Listen to that. Are you talking about a fish leaping up out of the river with the intent, with the mindset, with the disposition to devour a man? We're talking about a man eating fish. Now, if Tobit was anything like me, I would have been petrified. My feet would have been in solid concrete. Jaw dropped, eyeballs raised. Right? My high beams on. So the eyebrows raised, high beams on, jaw dropped. Ah! I'm sure. But let's see what happens in the rest of the story. It says, and would have devoured him. Then the angel. Okay, spoiler alert, it really wasn't a man. It was an angel that Tobit thought it was a man. Tobit Jr. thought it was a man, but it wasn't. We now know that it was an angel. Okay, so this person, which Tobit thought was actually an angel for us, now we know, said, take the fish. Take it. Don't let it take you. Take that fish. Take something that was trying to overtake you. Think about what he's saying. How powerful is an encouraging word at the right time? Take the fish. Goes on to say, and the young man laid hold of the fish and drew it to land. So that word gave him some can do, where it looked all situations and all indications pointed to the contrary. It looked like he was going to get overtaken. I saw an alligator once on a video come out the water on its unsuspecting prey and tore that thing up. See, the reflexes of a predator are lightning quick, and that of the potential prey unsuspecting. I mean, the last thing on his mind, especially trying to get a cold drink or trying to refresh itself, or in Tobit's case, just trying to bathe. So when this fish leaped up out of the water, and it actually says, and would have devoured him, Tobit or me, or maybe even you, wouldn't stand a chance. But look what happened. A word came. A word. It says, take the fish. So moving right along. And the young man laid hold of the fish and drew it to the land, to whom the angel said, open the fish and take the heart and the liver and the gall, the heart, the liver, and the gall from the fish. Take everything that made this thing up. Disconnect all the mechanisms that propel this thing to come after you. From the inside out. Think about it. Destroy your enemy from the inside out. Take away all the ingredients that make him or make it what it is that will ever come against you again. Take it out. Remove it. So it goes on to say, powerful stuff, isn't it? I mean, I give the Most High great praise for this word. I've never seen it before. So it goes on to say, so the young man did as the angel commanded him, and when they had roasted the fish, they did eat it. Then they both went on their way until they drew near to Ecbatan. Okay, Ecbatan was their destination. Okay, so it says, put them up safely. Listen, so he told him to disembowel the fish, take the heart, take the liver, and take the gall, which is the intestine. It says, put them up safely. Now, why would you want to do something like that? I mean, this was a potential enemy on the attack. It says, disembowel him and everything that's inside of him. Take care and put it up safely. Tobit was a very respectful person, a very obedient person, and a very mindful person. That's how we should be. Sometimes we might not understand the instructions that are given to us, but we shouldn't waste time trying to figure it out. Especially if it was someone that was sent to lead and guide us, i.e., maybe a man or a woman of the Most High. And you'll know that as it registers in your spirit, as it even begins to speak, that there's something that marinates, there's something that resonates, there's something that goes straight to your bone marrow. You know, that, hey, this is something unusual, this is something peculiar, this is something that I probably need to listen to. Because they will speak with such an authority, they will speak with such a gravity in their voice, that it would only behoove you and only do you good if you listen to it. So he did what this man, who he thought was a man, an angel, he did exactly what he said. Not only did he disembowel the fish, but he also put things up carefully, like he said. And it goes on to say, verse 6 says, when the young man said unto the angel, brother Azarahu, to what use is the heart, the liver, and the gall of the fish? Okay, you told me to not only take them out, but you told me to take care while I was taking them out, and then you told me to put them up safely. I did that. But please tell me the reason why I did what I did. Is there any rhyme to this reason? Is there going to be a payout to this investment of time and labor? Let's go on. And he said unto him, now here again, you got to understand who's talking to who. And then what are they talking about? Now this is the angel talking to Tobit Jr. Exactly what it is that he done and why did he do it. He said, and he said unto him, touching the heart and the liver, which means to say, okay, in reference to the heart and the liver. If a devil, D-E-evil, okay, if a devil, or as they say, D-evil, okay, if D-evil, if the devil or an evil ruach or spirit. Here again, let me take this slow because I really want you to catch it, because we're going to do a spiritual application to a natural situation. Okay, so I'm taking this slow. If a devil or a evil ruach or spirit troubles any, terrorizes, irritate, instigate, frustrates, rubs the wrong way, troubles any, we must make a smoke. We must make a smoke. Listen, when the Most High gives you a strategy, He gives you a blueprint, He gives you something to do, it's not going to be impossible to do it. It's going to be illogical to do it. It won't make natural sense. But you got to understand, the answer is coming from a different realm. Right? So we'll say, like, what in the world? It's not coming from this world. So it won't make worldly sense, natural sense, this dimensional sense. It's coming from another dimension. So, and that's how you kind of know that the Most High is speaking, when it doesn't tally up with our intellect. So it goes on to say, it says, touching the heart and the liver, if a devil or any evil spirit trouble any, we must make a smoke thereof before that man or before that woman, and the party shall be no more vexed. Okay, it says, take the heart and take the liver and burn it. And the smoke that comes up from the heart and from the liver, you do it in front of the person that's dealing with unclean spirits or a devil, and whatever. Now, understand, like Yahweh Shai says, this type only comes out by prayer and fasting. Now, we all read that part, how to get rid of an unclean spirit. Well, prayer and fasting, as it says, deals with certain types of unclean spirits. Okay? Strongholds, stubborn, unruly, hard to evict. He said this type comes out by prayer and fasting. So, as I read here in Tobit, it has no limitations. I need for you to read this yourself. It says, and the party shall be no more vexed. And it goes on to say, going up a little bit, if a devil or an unclean ruach trouble any, we must make a smoke thereof before the man or the woman, and the party shall be no more vexed. So, this is saying, now, you got to understand, in order to get something that you never had, you got to do something that you never done. You got that? Is that clear? If you keep doing things the way you've been doing things and thinking that you're going to get a different outcome, some people call that insanity. So desperate times calls for desperate measure. And you can never lose when you stick to the Most High's word. If you find it in His word, what it has done for others, it can do for you. He's no respecter of person. He does not love Tobit more than He loves you. And there's nothing new under the sun. What they have been going through, we're going through it now. But look at the remedy. Look at the blueprint. Look at the strategy that the Most High gets. He says, now you take the fish, you take the heart, and you take the liver, and you burn it, and you make a smoke, and you put the person that is going through a situation or a circumstance that seemingly is outside of their control, that is being influenced by external, influencers or troublers, or revelers or instigators, in this case, unclean spirits, and also the devil, right? It says of a devil or an unclean spirit. So it says two different things, two different entities. It says a devil, that's one, or in. That means that possibly it could be something else. Possibly it could be you could be being bullied by a gang of unclean, devilish saboteurs against your destined situation or your ultimate goal. So, with that being said, what I did, I took this. Why did I take this? Because I need this. I need to do this. This is not something that I can read and say, wow, that was great for that time. Or it says, whoa, that is some blessed guy to have this situation going on in his or her life, because the Most High is no respecter of person and is not gender based. Oftentimes it's speaking of men, but it's speaking of humans, okay? It's speaking of a woman, okay? So it's not just gender bias here. Anything, anybody, any situation, any circumstances, if you lean on the Most High for help, if you call out, if you obey His laws, commandments, and statutes, He is obligated to not only see about your need, but to do something about what He saw or to do something about what He heard. All right, so once again, He says, as touching the heart and the liver, if a devil or an unclean spirit trouble anybody, woman, man, adolescent, child, any. It says here, we must make a smoke thereof, of the liver, of the heart, before that man or that woman or the derivative of their union, the fruit of their union, their child, and the party shall be no more vexed ever again. Okay, now I did this. I got myself a fish. You got to find yourself a fish market. You got to find yourself a fish deli. You got to find a place that serves the whole, that sells the whole, or serves the whole, or sells the whole fish intact, not gutted. You're going to have to do the gutting yourself. That's what I did. So I went to my local fish market, supermarket, convenience store, grocery market, whatever have you, and see if they sell a whole intact fish. I did that. And I put on my little blue gloves and I dissected it. Taking very careful care. See, you got to understand, there's an angel that's guarding over this word right here. There's an angel that guided me to this word. There's an angel that helped me to understand this word. So the angels are still here. Don't necessarily look for a bodily form, because that spirit that motivated that body, in Tobit's case, is the same spirit that's motivating you to do the things that are pleasing to the Most High Yahweh, our Elohim, our Adonai, Jehovah Nisi, Jehovah Rapha, El Shaddai. It's still being sent, especially in these last hours. It's no time to fade. It's no time to quit. So I did that. So I surgically dissected the inside of the fish, making sure that I got the heart and I got the liver. Now it's ready to be heated and ready to produce smoke. Now What am I asking, petitioning, commanding these unclean spirits to leave? The unclean spirit of poverty, the unclean spirit of lack, the unclean spirit of insufficiency, the unclean spirit of commitment, the unclean spirit of completion. Because we always like to start things, but to complete it, that's where we get the struggle. How about procrastination, that unclean spirit? Oh yeah, these things are troubling us. How about the unclean spirit of social relations? Maybe we have family members we're not talking to. Maybe the unclean spirit of forgiveness. That's a big one. People that you should be talking to but haven't talked to in years. People even from our own flesh and blood, our children. Or the parents that gave us life. We're not talking to them. So, now, I'm about to heat it up. I'm going to wait till it smokes. And I'm going to demand and command in the name of Yahweh, our power, that these unclean spirits go. And according to the book of Tobit, I would never be troubled ever again. Now, true enough, we are in the land of our captivities, and we understand that the curses are being switched over to our enemies because we're calling on our power. We're coming back to the laws, commandments, and the statutes of the Most High. We're looking at the Torah and we're finding it delicious. All right, we are obeying that which was said was not relevant. What was said was obsolete. Christianity has truly done a number to us. However, by the Spirit, the Most High is waking us up and pulling the scales off of our eyes. In these last hours, we're running out of time. Okay, so I'm about to do this right now. And I suggest that you look at these scriptures. And I suggest that you, of course, pray about it. But if you're going through what I'm going through, it won't be a long prayer. You'll be looking for your neighborhood fish market. And I definitely am going to give you a praise report. And you will see the fruits of my belief. You know, because there's one thing to listen to the word, but it's another thing to obey it. Put works to it. Show me your faith, and I'll show you mine by my works. Right? Faith without works is truly dead. Being left alone without works. So, I'm about to heat things up, and I'm about to evict some things, and I am about to walk into, in this last hour, our reparations. Now he said that we're not going to leave out of spiritual Egypt the second time. It's like we did the first time, without heaping gold and silver on our children's backs. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they do. They can't stop the one that is motivating you and I, and that's Yahweh, our power. And we're going to get these strategies for success. And we're going to get this blueprint from our Bible, and we're going to circumvent all those that are against our prosperity, our peace, and definitely our promotion back into our right standings. All right, with that being said, we're almost out of time. I'm your host with the Most High, thanking you and encouraging you. Just like that angel said, take the fish. All right. Until next time.